Hello guys, this is going to be my video on the E6 variation of the open Sicilian. So comes from E4, C5, knight to F3, and then this one is assuming that they play E6. I have other videos on the other variations here. So now you play D4, that is the open Sicilian. If they take, you should, in general, take back with the knight. And then normally they will play a6, stop you from playing either bishop or knight here. Knight there is especially effective in openings like this, which I believe I will show in a future video. I think the knight f6 variation. So, now you play knight to c3. In a lot of this specific variation, since they have played e6, but they have yet to play d6 or d5, they have yet to play d6, d5. You really want to have a way to play. If they give you an option to, you should try and play for somehow get a knight onto that very nice d6 square, because then you can get your queen there if they take with the bishop. Assuming, well, for the knight that's currently on c3, you probably should move the knight on d4 first, so that they can't just take it for free. But so they play queen c7 most of the time. Generally, just a very useful move. It stops what I was just talking about. Now they have another attacker, and it stops e5, which is also a very common thing in these lines if they don't do that. So know those ideas if they aren't playing correctly. Okay, so now you should play bishop d3. If they play knight to f6, which a lot of people will, you should just castle. This, I think, is one of the only variations where I don't recommend castling queenside. You still can. You can go for similar attacks to the ones I showed previously in other videos, but this is just a better option in this variation because you're planning on playing f4, and you want to have a lot of support for that. So having the rook on f1 is very nice for that, and your king isn't very threatened. So they'll normally play knight to c6. You should notice that your queen is no longer defending your knight, so make sure to do something about that. I prefer taking, but make sure you do something about that. I've not noticed before, and I've thought my queen was still defending my knight before in a blitz game. It's not great to lose a knight right out the opening. So do something about it. I recommend taking. So now d take. So yeah, now normally they'll take with the d pawn. And as I said previously, you want to play f4. Now, so now they have two options. They basically transpose. I looked through both, but they basically transpose. So either way, so bishop c5, you're going to play king there, and then they're going to play e5. So it's very similar. If they don't play e5, then you're going to play e5. Most people will notice that you're trying to play e5, and complete this bishop will then be very, very sad and drunk apparently. This bishop is very, very sad if you can play e5. Very sad. Like, there's no way for that bishop to ever get out if you play e5. So, they need to make sure that they do. So, let's look at e5 immediately, just because it's very similar. I recommend playing king h1. And if they are... So, now they have the option to play bishop d6, which is fine. And now I recommend playing f5. I I really like closing off the position here because they don't have any way to stop it. They don't have any threats. And remember how I said the bishop was going to be sad? He still is. So this bishop is very difficult to get out now. And yes, your light squared bishop isn't the best either. But your dark squared bishop has complete control over this diagonal. You can play this. You can play bishop to h6 if you get an attack going on somehow, or you can just play bishop here to e3 so that you have complete control over this diagonal. It's just he has two pretty sad bishops, and you have one really good one, and one that is currently acting as a pawn. So but yours can leave that position. Neither of his really can. So now they have to try and get their bishop out. So b5 is the best way to try. You should play a4 because it's not great. You shouldn't let them try and just gain space. It's not. You just shouldn't allow that. Normally they'll play bishop b7. They're just trying to get that bishop out somehow. So now I quite like bishop g5 in this position. And now it forces their bishop back to e7, which just looks awful to me, but to each his own. If you were to take the knight, the reason that they have to play bishop e7 is you're going to take the knight, and then you're going to just ruin their pawn structure, and they have no safe place. All their king side would be completely destroyed, and their queen side is already... They've pushed every pawn there. They've bet on the fact that they can castle king side. So now they normally will play bishop back. I like queen f3 here because, first of all, you're defending your e-pawn. Nice option. You're allowing your other rook to get to e1, which is the main reason for this. And if the knight ever moves, or if you take it and then force the bishop to move, or anything like that, you can then play f6, and it's very defended. So now rook to d8, which, fair enough. So now you'll notice that we're only taking now because now we get the file. If they take with the a pawn, we get the file. That is the reason we waited so long. So they still will normally take with the a pawn because it's better to take towards the center in general. And now this is where my prep ends. So it's nice to know these two moves as options. Knight d1, queen g3. Those are both options. Queen g3 is seen by the computer as the better option. It's very important to know about the fact that this knight is going to be maneuvering. This knight should not stay on the queen side. That is very important in this opening. And so that's pretty much all I have for this variation, the e6 variation. There are obviously other variations, but so if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't understand if I didn't explain a move that you don't understand, or if there is a move that you wonder why it didn't happen, please comment what it is. And if you know how to answer the question, I would like it if you tried to answer their questions, and I will try and answer as many as I can as well. Please don't be mean to anyone for just not understanding how to what's going on. What a certain move does. All right, I think that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching.